personal. And why is it personal to me? I work for Takeda Pharmaceuticals. My dad passed away with cancer a few years ago. So that gives me meaning to come to work every day, working for a pharmaceutical company where we are saving lives. That gives me meaning to come to work every day. As leaders, we have a role to play. And our role is to help our employees find that purpose and help them live that purpose every day. And when we help them live that purpose and they can feel that purpose, it'll help them be more connected to their roles and why they work in that organization. Now, can someone guess how much faster do purpose-led organizations grow? There was an article published by Deloitte back in 2019, just before the pandemic. And the answer is 3x. That's how successful or faster a purpose-led organization can grow. Now, that was pre-pandemic. During the pandemic, a lot of us have been working from home or remotely. Post the pandemic, we've been working in a hybrid model. That connectedness that we need in our organization is getting harder and harder to achieve. So purpose plays a much bigger role. And it's us as leaders, we owe it to our organization to deliver that purpose and the connectedness. Now, there's been recent studies also published where it's been highlighted by multiple organizations that the purpose gap is much wider as you go down the organization. At a higher level, at the senior executive level, leadership level, you can draw that connection, it's easier. But the broader organization, it's harder. I'm Sanjay Patel, and I'm privileged and honored to lead Takeda Business Solutions. And I'm reminded every day why I go to work and why I come to work. And it's not because I have to go to work, it's because I want to go to work. Now let me say a little bit about Takeda, who we are. We are a patient-focused, values-based global biopharmaceutical company. We are committed to bringing better health and brighter future to people worldwide. Who we are as an organization in Takeda Business Solutions. So there's always a pivotal moment that comes in an organization where it allows you to repivot yourself as an organization and define where you actually fit in as an organization. For us, this was the opportunity. When Takeda completed its acquisition of Shire Pharmaceuticals back in 2019, that's the day when we closed the deal, it gave us an opportunity as an organization to redefine who we are, who do we want to be, and where do we fit into the organization? What's the problem that we're trying to solve? What's our relevance? And we took our organization, which was a service-oriented organization, to a solutions-oriented organization. That was our first step. And why? And the why is, when any large two companies come together, there's multiple ways of doing things. There's two systems, two processes. Everything is 2x. That's where our purpose was. We, as an organization, that's our expertise, process knowledge, continuous improvement, process automation, ways to define and lead large transformation projects. So we had all that capabilities that helped us define where we fitted into the organization. That was our first step. From the outset, we were crystal clear that we didn't want to be seen as a servitude mindset type of organization, a supplier-customer. It was more of a business partner. So a little bit about my organization, Takeda Business Solutions. We are a global organization. We have 8 solution centers, and we are a fully captive model. That was a choice we made. And also, we are located close to where the business is. And the reason for being close to the business is because the way to deliver exceptional experience is through having that intimate knowledge of the business. Being close to the business allows us to be intimate, have that engagement with the business, learn what they do, and be able to contribute more effectively to them. The other is we are a very diverse organization, similar to many of your organizations as well. But we are also empowering our teams to partner with all our colleagues that interact with us every day through the solutions that we offer. And our value proposition is that when we take on work, beyond just delivering the efficiency that we provide or a lower cost to serve, it's also about promising that we will commit to deliver an exceptional experience. Now, many of you have seen these types of benchmarking or maturity curves for GBS models or shared services. There's many ways we can call this organization. And a lot of these models tend to be focused on efficiency only, more focused on the early part, take the cost out. Now, we felt in our kind of journey, taking an efficiency-first approach would inhibit our ability to be agile and also limit our ability to be able to adapt to the changing business needs and business environment. And we've seen that in the last 2 years, how the external environment is kind of changing and how that impacts the business as well. So we chose more of a effectiveness-first approach. By that, it was going for the best of breed. Don't just take a linear path, but pick what makes sense. So we chose doubling down on our investments in data and digital. This was even before the pandemic started. And some of you probably saw the last year when I presented on the automation program. We also made sure that we focused on solutions and experience. That was much needed, and especially in a pandemic environment, that empathy is needed when you're engaging remotely with your business. Also, the choice we made being close to the business, not being at a far remote, offshore location, but be close to the business so that connectiveness will be there. So those are the choices we made, and that I think has served us well. Now, I'll share now how we're bringing purpose into everything we do. And I often say changing a few words here and there on slides, on branding, that's the easy part. I always say it's like edit, find, replace. That's the easy part. But how do you embed that in your organization? How do you build that culture? That's the harder part. And that's what we as leaders are responsible for doing. But before we go there, I wanted to show a short video.
The first 11 years of my life was wonderful. I never had a day's sickness. At the age of 11, I took this chronic diarrhea and abdominal pain, and my life just crashed. It wasn't just an abdominal problem, because then my chest began to have infections, and I was having recurring ear infections as well. One day someone suggested that I saw an immunologist. It wasn't just hypogammaglobuline anemia or the recurring ear infections, but common variable immune deficiency, CVID. He explained that all the infections that I had experienced was a result of this immune deficiency, and that the replacement therapy would help me to fight future infections. For me, staying positive is actually about seizing the day, seizing every opportunity. The disease is just part of who I am. Looking back, I spent long enough worrying and in those dark periods, and I just want to live life. And the majority of days, I don't even think about having a disease. It's just something I live with.
There was a reason I chose that video. In that video, Gary is a real patient. He talks about seizing the day, seizing the opportunity, living life to the fullest. In our roles in GBS, we get lots of escalations. Things don't work. That puts into perspective. We don't have to live the life that Gary has to live every day. We have got no problems when we look at our problems in context of what Gary lives with. So in Takeda, we have thousands of colleagues who are in the R&D organization, in our manufacturing organization, that spend days, nights, weeks, weekends discovering that next breakthrough life-saving treatment that can help people like Gary. It's our role in our organization to highlight to our teams why it's important to make sure that that particular invoice gets paid on time, because that invoice, if not paid on time, could impact delivery of some critical supplies that are needed to produce that life-saving medicine that helps people like Gary. That's the purpose. So it's really important we do that. Now, how do we do this in TBS, in Takeda Business Solutions? So we have to come up with 3 programs. One is we call the line of sight, but this line of sight is a simple, what I call 2-dimensional approach, where it's on paper. Everyone in my organization goes through this exercise where define what your role is and show how that role actually impacts the patient based on what you do. That's the 2-dimensional. The second program we've implemented is called Patient Connections Program, where all of our new hires go through our onboarding program where they, over a 4-week period, they get text messages from a patient, which they don't know is a real patient, but it's like building a knowledge about a particular disease area that they're suffering, what it is like living with that illness. And then on week 3 or 4, they actually come face-to-face with the patient, virtually or in person, and that's when they actually interact with the patient, and that's where you make that connection, right? And then coming out of it, it's like a bit of a self-reflection. You know, what impact has it had on me? The other one that we've launched recently is called the Power of Our Purpose series. This is where we are inviting our business leaders from commercial, manufacturing, R&D, in any part of the business that can help and tell us what are they doing and how what they do actually is supported by our organization. We've run 3 of these sessions already. There's one that was run on Monday this week in Poland, and we have over 500 people attended the session, and was posted on Yammer by team members, and I'll just share what the impact was to these individuals. So this one individual, Anna, she said, a great, valuable experience which made me realize that behind every vendor registration, there's a patient who needs our support to live a regular, normal life, like everyone of us. Another lady, Paulina Piacek, which works for Hedia in my team, great reminder for whom we turn our laptops on every day. And that the impact we can make on people's life is just tremendous. This event has definitely strengthened our commitment to the patient even more, and I feel that all of us left the room with a lot of reflections and our brains ticking, right? And I'm not declaring victory, but this is how we are building that connection back to the work that we do, which at times may come across as boring, mundane, but you give it life, people become excited, and they go that extra mile. We also made sure that patient is at the heart of everything we do. So this is our refreshed aspiration that we came out last year, and this aspiration is fully aligned to the enterprise imperatives. So we are reminded every day that everything we do, it's for the greater good of the patient that Takeda serves every day. So it's important that you reflect that in your aspirations or your vision, why you do this. So that's part of our aspiration. And our imperatives that you see at the bottom are the 4 imperatives that are fully aligned to the corporate imperatives. So there's no reason to say that we are doing something that's not aligned to what the company wants to do, but we are fully aligned. Data, digital, people, patient, planet, those are our corporate imperatives. And we fully align, and we make sure our KPIs, everything we do, performance objectives, they're all fully aligned to this. So build that connection in every opportunity you get. The other is like storyteller guide. So we've got this brand narrative, and again, yesterday in the opening, I think Candice, you also talked about brand. Angela talked about brand. Even like Morton talked about brand today. But again, just changing your brand and not helping your organization understand what that brand stands for. What's the value of the brand? What role do the teams play? What impact do they have? Why should their roles matter in that organization? That's what this whole brand narrative and the toolkit that we've prepared is providing our organization. And everyone in the organization in TBS has access to this, and we take them through workshops so they really understand more the role they play, the impact that they have, how they interact with teams, not just within, but even outside our teams, how do they interact with other parts of the business. So it's really important for us to make sure that this is not just a simple changing of the word, but you have to really, it's an immersive experience for the organization to really feel what you want them to feel. It just doesn't happen with just sending out slides or PowerPoint decks and running webinars. You have to have that immersive experience to help them feel what you want them to feel, so when they come into work, they know exactly the role that they're playing and how it's contributing to the purpose of the company. The other area that we've also looked at is leadership behaviors. In Takeda, everyone is a leader. Often people feel that by title you're a leader, but no, everyone is a leader. Everyone has a role to play. And we believe that if everyone within the organization embraces the leadership behaviors, and we create an environment where we can all be aligned on the purpose, then magic gets created. And the way we guide our organization is through a very simple way of kind of articulating, in our heart, we are guided by Takedism, our values, which are integrity, fairness, honesty, and perseverance. Our head guides us in how we make decisions. And in Takeda, we use a very simple approach. Patient, whatever decisions we are making, is it the right decision for the patient? Will it improve patient outcomes? Trust, will it help build trust in society? Will it enhance our reputation or damage our reputation? And the decision we are making, will it help us build a sustainable business? And our hands and how we act, that's leadership behaviors. So all together helps us. If all of these come together in perfect harmony, then you know that you are doing things in the organization that's aligned to the purpose of the organization that you're part of. I talked earlier about our operating model and the choice we made of being close to the business and also being like captive. And there's a reason behind it. When we started our journey 3.5 years ago or so, we met many of our senior leaders, executives, our executive team members, including the CEO, and there were a few themes that came out of those engagements and discussions around, let's not do TBS for the sake of doing TBS. Let's do it for the right reasons. In which case, we opted for a push versus a pull model. Sandeep and I were talking the other day about the push and pull model and the pros and cons of it, right? A push model, you have business coming happily to give you the work because they see the value you're delivering. A pull is when you have to extract work and then you get the resistance, right? So ours was push-pull. So we went for the push, and the principles we applied was, let's make sure we're doing for the right reasons, and then the reason is, it should not have a negative or adverse impact on our ability as a company to deliver medicines to the patients that need it the most. If we felt that it could impact, then let's not take that work into TBS. Second was making sure that we are seen as an enabler for the business in helping them deliver on their strategies, so fit into their strategies. So we're as part of the operating model of HR or finance or procurement, etc., we're embedded in that operating model. So it's one team, not us and them, it's one team. The third is, invest and double down on your data and digital ambitions. So we did this 2.5 years ago. We started our automation journey even before the pandemic started. And you'll see a bit of an example of it later on. And also, at the end of the day, trust. Trust is really important. And how you build trust is through business partnering. Now, I've talked about the automation, so I won't say a lot about this. There's a video that probably is worth just seeing it. I always get upbeat when I see this video. But it's a program we launched which was all about empowering our organization, the teams on the ground. Let's not just tell them there's a problem, but give them a solution, give them a tool which they can use to actually optimize processes or take work out, which gives time back to the business in helping them focus on what matters the most. So let's play the video. So the reason I show that video is because I often hear we need to just do data in digital. There has to be a purpose behind it. Don't just do it for the sake of implementing a cool new bot or ML or an AI platform, but what purpose will it serve? So we've taken the approach of let's do data in digital, but make sure it's purposeful technology investments that actually links back to the patient in some form or fashion. So here we're taking work away that can be spent better focusing on helping something that will impact the patient and patient outcomes. So that's the approach we have taken on this. Now, I'm just going to end on this last slide, and we received this lady that you see there. Her name's Hema Tolman. She's head of our BioLife business in the US, and she sent this video to us telling us how she felt we were supporting her. And to me, no matter what KPIs we have, those watermelon effects that we create, like green on the outside, red on the inside, this is what sums it up for us in TBS, that whatever we are doing, the choices we have made, the approaches that we have taken, it's having some impact, a positive impact. Again, by no means we are declaring victory, but we know that we've taken the right steps in partnership with the business that's helping us get feedback like this. And this was recorded in her hotel room, just on her phone, and she sent it to us.
Good afternoon to the TBS leadership team. My name is Hema Tolman, and I'm the head of BioLife at PDT. I wanted to take a moment today to thank you for your incredible contributions this past year in allowing this business to keep its doors open at over 200 locations across the world. TBS, we are relying on you this upcoming year as we build over 30 centers this year and 30 again next. That's one center every 10 days, so that we can fulfill our commitment to the patients. You are a vital part of our organization in setting our suppliers up quickly and appropriately, in paying our vendors' bills on time so that the lights can stay on, so that our centers continue to do business. The work again that you did last year, the service you provided BioLife and the PDT and Takeda as a whole is much, much appreciated. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you and to ask you to continue in that vein, to support us so that we can meet our commitments. Thank you very much. Best of luck, team.
So with that, I'll just end with my last slide. Angela started with an inspiring quote, or ended the session with an inspiring quote about what are you doing today and thinking about tomorrow. I think this ties in well, so ending on a very similar note. Don't take things for granted. The future belongs to those who can imagine it, design it, execute it. Don't wait, but create. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Wow, that was really moving, and what a way to finish the conference. I'm sure a lot of those messages resonated with many of us, and I nearly got up too soon there, but thank you so much. And you must be so proud of Vanessa. Amazing.
I'm proud of Vanessa. Yeah.
Congratulations again, Vanessa. Sanjay, I know you've got to dash quite quickly, but we do have a few, we've got time for a few questions. How do you begin to view your brand narrative as a strategic asset?
I mean, the way we view our brand is, not just me, my whole leadership team and the organization, we are very protective of our brand. And I always look at this as an analogy, right? There are many brands out there that we consume every day, right? But that brand stands for something. And the minute that brand starts getting negative, feedback and things like that, then you start losing that asset that you have created. So for us, it's how do you make sure that it's not just about calling yourself something, but are you living that every day? Are you showing it through your experience, how you engage? And again, I think you used in your presentation a couple of words which are similar to what we've used in our aspirations around when colleagues interact with us, they need to feel confident. Mm-hmm. So whatever we tell them, it should work. And also that there's supported, so which is empathy, right? But that's what the brand stands for. That's the asset that we've got. And we need to make sure that every action we do, everything we do is kind of resonating with that. And some of the slides that you saw, all of those are part of our brand portfolio. That's what we use. It's not about we can process more for you. It's about the impact that we are making and trying to make to the organization.
Great, thank you. And one last one. This is, how do you move from articulating your enterprise's purpose to be a truly purpose-led business?
So I think that's probably an easy part for us because our enterprise purpose is around helping patients and planet. And in our brand, we haven't deviated from it. We've actually embedded it into our, as you can see on the aspiration screen or the slide, patients at the heart of everything we do. So it's fully aligned. And that's, I think, is really important. And that was something that we did from the onset is, let's not try and create something unique and different for us. Let's create something that actually aligns with the enterprise imperative. So the storytelling and articulating why you come to work, what you do, how it impacts the business is easier, right? And I think in my past, I probably spent time in other companies creating something that's very different, and then it's hard to build that narrative back to the business or the company goals. So.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sanjay. It's been a pleasure.